Amy, great to see you again.
You too. Jackie, this is Talia. Talia, this is Jackie.
Charmed. Charmed.
Nice to meet you too.
Talia is a researcher at Newsline.
How exciting.
Gee, you look so familiar.
Really? We might have seen each other around campus.
I guess so. Or we may have been in a class together. I'm taking journalism classes.
No, it couldn't have been a class then. I'm taking theater classes, like Amy.
Oh well, I'll probably think of it later.
Speaking of classes, I'd better run. Can't be late for Professor Roberts.
Hold it. I think I remember where I've seen you.
Really?
Yes. The Gower building.
Okay. So what's happening now? Well, we had that Amy and Jackie were talking, and then Amy finally arrived. So what are they talking about? What happened in this video?
Yeah, Amy arrived. Her friend Amy introduced her to Jackie, and Amy started to like, you look so familiar. Then Jackie tried to maybe remember or searching her mind, maybe. And Jackie says that maybe in some class or something like this, but finally Tanya says that, or Talia says that, I can remember I see you in our building. Jackie seems like so nervous and yeah, uncomfortable maybe.
Exactly, yes. Perfect. Remember to always conjugate your verbs, whether in the simple present, Amy starts, or in the past, right? Amy started to question where she's seen Jackie before. Okay, so yes, what do you think will happen?
I think Talia will maybe interrogate to Jackie. Yeah, like Jackie seems so nervous, so I think that she will say all true.
Okay, maybe perhaps. So yeah, Jackie seems that she has gotten very nervous when Amy said that she's seen her in the Gower building, right? In the Gower building, because she knows what she's done. So let's see what happens next. Our first question says, Amy introduces Talia. What does Amy say about her?
She says that Talia works in journalism.
Okay, she says that Talia works in journalism, exactly. Where does Jackie think Talia might have seen her?
In her acting class.
In her acting class? Sure.
Or maybe working around the university.
Walking around the university, right? And where does Jackie say, I'd better run?
She has to go to class.
She has to go to class, exactly. At the end of the scene, what does Talia tell Jackie?
That she saw her at the Grover building.
Exactly, that she saw her at the Gower building. So let's make this. Okay, great. So we're going to, here again, this time with subtitles, we're going to be paying attention to the grammar part now. Let's see.
Amy, Hi, great to see you again.
You too. Jackie, this is Talia. Talia, this is Jackie.
Charmed. Charmed.
Nice to meet you too.
Talia is a researcher at Newsline.
How exciting.
Gee, you look so familiar.
Really? We might have seen each other around campus.
I guess so. Or we may have been in a class together. I'm taking journalism classes.
No. No, it couldn't have been a class then. I'm taking theater classes. Like,
So now Amy or Talia says that Jackie looks familiar to her and that they might have seen each other before. And they are speculating about where they have seen before. Right? They are speculating about where Talia has seen Jackie before. Let's see how they speculate about these past possibilities.
Gee, you look so familiar.
really? We might have seen each other around campus.
So, for example, Jackie says, we might have seen each other around campus. We might have seen each other. Do you know what that means?
It's like a possibility.
Exactly.
Podríamos habernos visto.
Exactly. Podríamos habernos visto. So it's a possibility, but it's a possibility in the past. So in the past, they might have seen each other. Maybe they saw each other in the past. It's a possibility. It's a speculation about where they have seen each other.
Campus.
I guess so. Or we may have been in a class together.
We may have been in a class together. So it's exactly the same. Now Talia is speculating about whether they have seen each other in a class before. So probably they saw each other in a class or they were together in a class. So we may have been in a class together.
Together, I'm taking journalism classes.
No, it couldn't have been a class then.
And now Jackie says, no, it couldn't have been a class then. We have the same structure, but with a different modal. We had the modals might, may, and now we have the modal could. And she says, it couldn't have been a class then. Right? It couldn't have been, no pudo haber sido. It couldn't have been a class. Again, she's speculating about what happened in the past.
I'm taking theater classes. Like Amy.
Oh well, I'll probably think of it later.
Speaking of classes, I'd better run. Can't be late for Professor Roberts.
Hold it. I think I remember where I've seen you.
Really?
Yes. The Gower building.
And that's what we're going to see now. We're going to be seeing modals of possibility, both in the present and in the future, and also in the past, in the three different tenses we have. Okay? Do you have any questions before we start?
No, teacher.
All right, then. So I have a few presentations. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, let's start by clarifying that modal verbs, well, that in English, we have different types of verbs, we said, right? I think once we said, there are three different categories. We have normal verbs, which are normally action verbs. For example, sing, dance, play, do, speak, take, write, read, write, type, all of those, think. We also have auxiliary verbs, like for example, the auxiliary verb do, the auxiliary verb have, in some cases for some tenses. We have auxiliaries like the verb to be sometimes is also considered as an auxiliary. And finally, we have modal verbs. Do you remember what modal verbs were?
Yeah, it's like poder, podría.
Exactly. So modal verbs in general are verbs that are never going to be the main verb of the sentence, right? If I say, I like sushi, the main verb of the sentence is like, right? Because that is demonstrating the action, what I'm trying to express. But if instead of going directly with the main verb, I use a modal before and I say, I might like sushi if I try it, then now the main verb is not might. Might is only helping the main verb to express its meaning. So what modal verbs do, they modify a little bit the main verb. They accompany it and they help it express its meaning, but they are never the main verbs, right? So that's why they are called modals, because they are like a tool we use to express better a message. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I remember that we've seen before modals of permission, right? We've seen things like, I must do my homework, modals of duty as well, right? I have to do my homework. And now we're going to be seeing modals of possibility or probability. We're going to be focusing on a couple of them. Let's see which ones are used in the book so that we don't get you confused. So in our book, we have must, we have might, may, might, could, and must. Okay. And in modals of the past, we have okay, we have must have, may have, might have, could have. Okay, I think we're good. So yes. Okay, so we're going to be seeing these following modal verbs. So we have both affirmatives and negatives. We're going to be seeing both of them. We have the first one, which is must. We use must when we are almost 100% sure that something is true. When we are saying that something has to be true. For example, let's say that, I don't know, let's say that, okay, let's give an example. Let's say that I go to work and one of my coworkers, for some reason, doesn't come to work that day. So let's say that the night before or the day before, I remember seeing him a little bit feeling out of sorts. So feeling a little bit sick. So I remember having seen him like that. So the next day that he doesn't come to work, I'm going to be like, well, Jim didn't come to work. He must be sick. Right? So I'm saying he must be. In order to guess, I'm obviously taking a guess. I am not 100% sure that he is sick, because if I was sure, then I would just say he is sick, but I am nearly 100% sure. Why am I so sure? Because the day before I saw him getting sick. So I am pretty sure, but not 100%, that he is sick. So I'm going to say he must be sick. So we use must to express probability when we are almost 100% sure that it is true, and when we have some evidence to prove that, right? Like in the case of my coworker, I have some evidence because I saw him the day before getting sick. So he must be sick. Is that okay so far?
Yes.
All right. Now, when we are not so sure, and we are like, let's say 75% sure, but we're guessing, we still have some evidence. So we're not 100% sure, but we are there, we're guessing. We can use the modals that, for example, Jackie and Amy were using to speculate about what happened in the past, but we can also use it in the simple present. So we have the modal verbs may, might, and could. And they are exactly the same in the simple present, or we're talking about affirmative possibilities. May, might, and could mean puede, podría, puede. Este es puede y este es podría. Igual que en español decimos, puede que esté enfermo, podría estar enfermo. En inglés es lo mismo. So my coworker didn't go to work today. He may be sick. He might be sick. He could be sick. So I'm just guessing, I'm speculating. I'm not 100% sure, but I am taking a guess. He may be sick, he might be sick, he could be sick. And I don't necessarily have to have evidence, it's just trying to guess. Okay, so we have may, might, and could. Now, on the other hand, this is when we are positive, when we are guessing about something affirmative. Now, when we're kind of sure that it didn't happen, that something didn't happen or something is not happening, then we use the negatives. So we can use the negative form of could, couldn't. We can also use can't. We can also use must not. And we can also use may not or might not. So to be honest, they are not really, I wouldn't really say that they are so different in terms of quantity. To me, they are almost the same, so I wouldn't really differentiate that much between these ones. Maybe must not, it's even stronger. I don't know why it's here, but I would say that must not is even stronger than the other ones. Or could not is actually the strongest one, could not. So when we are like in the example of Amy and Jackie, right? So Amy says, I'm taking journalism classes. We may have seen each other in a class. And Jackie says, well, I didn't take any journalism courses. I'm only taking acting. So it couldn't have been in a class. It couldn't be a class. Couldn't because she's 100% sure now, or almost 100% sure, that it wasn't in a class. They are not taking the same classes together. So it's very likely that it wasn't in a class that they saw each other. It couldn't be in a class. When you're guessing, it must not be a class. It must be something else. No debe ser una clase, debe ser algo más. No puede ser una clase. O no podría o no puede ser una clase también, ¿no? It may not be a class, it may not be a class. Okay. Entonces tenemos must, may, might, could, can't, couldn't, must, may not, must not, and might not, ¿no? Los negativos. Is that okay so far?
Yes, yes, it-
Okay, now in the simple present and in the future tense, let's see. Okay. So normal modals. In order to refer to present possibilities and also future possibilities, we use the structure of a model in the way that we already know, in the same way as we did before. So let me give you an example. For example, what we said before for the other models that we've seen was the structure of, we have a subject first, then we have a modal verb, then we have the main verb, and if we want, we can add a complement as well. The main verb we said has to be, do you remember how? Does it have to be with a gerund? Does it have to be in the infinitive form or in the basic form?
base form.
Base form. It has to be in the base form. After a modal, we always use the base form. So what do we do? For example, if I'm talking about present possibility, we can use the example of my coworker. So my coworker didn't come to work today. I'm going to say he must be sick, right? He must be sick. So I have the subject, I have the modal, I have the main verb, and finally I have the complement. He must be sick. What is it? It's present possibility, right? I'm talking about right now. Right now, he must be sick. It's present possibility. But I can also use this for the future. For example, let's say that I don't know where I'm going to go on vacation this year. And I'm like, well, maybe this year I may go or I might go. I might, let's say, visit Spain. I might visit Spain in December, let's say. So in this case, it's no longer present possibility, it's future possibility actually, but we are still using the same structure, right? For future and for present possibility. We have the subject, we have the modal, we have the main verb in the base form, and we have the complement, which is not always necessary. He must be sick, I might visit Spain in December. Let's give another example. My parents may get angry or get upset, let's say, if I fail this class, let's say. So my parents may get upset if I fail this class. So again, this is future possibility, but it is still in the same structure, right? We have our subject, we have our modal, we have the main verb, and we have the complement. So for present or for future possibility, we use the typical structure of any modal verb. Modal plus main verb in the mixed form. Okay?
Yeah, the only difference in between present and future is the complement. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes you don't need to. And right now, I wrote down the complement because I wanted to emphasize on the difference, but you don't necessarily have to have a complement explain when this is going to happen, right? Because I could say he must be sick now, right now. But I didn't necessarily have to. Same thing as in this question. Maybe you say, do you know what you're going to do this summer? It will be winter, right? Do you know what you're going to do? Or it's summer. Do you know what what you're going to be doing this summer? And I can be like, yeah, I don't know yet, but I might be visiting Spain, or I might visit Spain. So I don't necessarily have to have a complement, but I'm still referring to the future. So it depends on the context, whether or not you have a complement, but there's no difference between present and future when it comes to models.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it can be for both. And that's models in the simple present and future. To be honest, that is the easy part, I'd say. Not much to say there. Now, what the most important part here, and to be honest, something that's going to be really useful for the TOEFL test, especially for the writing and reading, is past modals. Because there are many, many occasions in which in the writing section, in the integrated writing of the TOEFL, you get, remember that you get readings and lectures. So many times the reading is about a speculation of the past, theories about what could have happened in the past. Let's say the reading says something like, dinosaurs may have become extinct because of an asteroid. And then the professor says the opposite. They couldn't have been extinct because of the asteroid. So they use a lot of modals of possibility in the past. Now, how do we form modals of possibility to talk about the past, to speculate about the past? We use the same modals, must, may, might, could, couldn't, must not, may not, might not, but we add the present perfect. Okay, so let's see how we form. Okay, here it is. Modals in the past. We have everything is still the same, but we now use a modal verb first. And then after the modal, we don't have the base form of the main verb. We have the present perfect form of the verb. That means that we have the auxiliary have and then the past participle of the main verb. Always the auxiliary have. We don't have to conjugate like we do in the present perfect, right? I have to say, I have been, she has been. But with modals, we don't have to conjugate. So I may have been, she may have been. So it's easier in the sense that we don't have to conjugate the auxiliary verb, and we obviously don't have to conjugate the modal because modals are not conjugated. So for example, that day he didn't go to work. He must have been sick. ¿No? Si tomamos el anterior ejemplo, podemos ver la diferencia. No sé si está acá. Por ejemplo, he didn't come to the office. He reported himself sick. He must be in bed. ¿No? Teníamos este ejemplo. He must be in bed. Debe estar en la cama. Tenemos evidencia. He must be in bed. Ahora, lo mismo, pero si hablamos del pasado, estamos hablando de ayer, de otro día. That day, he didn't go to work. He must have been sick. ¿No? Must have been. Tenemos el modal primero, luego have, y luego el participio del verbo principal. ¿No? Been en caso de be. He must have been sick. Este modal puede ser cualquier modal de los que hemos visto. I wonder why we didn't see him. He may have left early. Modal, have, y luego el participio. Can you read the next sentence, please?
Yeah. We should check before we leave. We might have forgotten something.
We might have forgotten something. No, we might have forgotten something. Okay, Maria. Can you please read the other one as well?
Maria could have been the one who framed it.
Maria could have been the one who framed Nick. She could have been the one who framed Nick. Lo mismo, podría haber sido. The other one, please.
That day he was in the office at 10 p.m. So it can't have been him.
Exactly. So it couldn't have been him, ¿no? Eso es lo mismo que hizo Jackie. Cuando estamos 100% seguros de que algo no pasó, casi 100% seguros, obviamente no estábamos ahí para verlo, pero estamos deduciendo, ¿no? Exactamente igual que lo hizo Jackie. Jackie dice, well, I am taking acting classes, you are taking journalism classes, so it couldn't have been a class where we met. No puede haber sido una clase. It couldn't have been. We are nearly 100% sure. When we are almost guessing, we use must not, no? Can you please read the other one?
Yes. He was there, so it must not have been him.
Exactly. He was there, so it must not have been him. No debe haber sido él. Entonces no estamos tan seguros como con el couldn't have been, pero sí estamos adivinando. It must not have been him. And what about the next one?
I wonder why she left. She may not have wanted to be there.
Exactly. I wonder why she left. She might not have wanted to be there. Podría no haber querido estar ahí. Estamos especulando, no sabemos, y tampoco tenemos evidencia, ¿no? Entonces no estamos tan seguros. Entonces funciona exactamente igual que los anteriores. Como habíamos dicho, cuando estamos casi 100% seguros, en afirmativo, que algo sí pasó, cuando estamos más o menos adivinando, cuando no estamos tan seguros, ¿no? Pero casi no hay diferencia entre los demás. Y en este caso, en los negativos, cuando estamos casi 100% seguros que algo no pasó, couldn't have been, y luego cuando estamos más o menos adivinando, 75, 50%. Is that okay so far? Do you have any questions perhaps?
Yeah. Like you said, he must have, always is have, never has.
Exactly. Always have, never has. ¿Por qué? Porque en realidad la regla de todo modal es que cualquier verbo que le siga después del modal esté en su forma básica, ¿no? Como en el anterior. Entonces acá el auxiliar tiene que estar en su forma básica. El auxiliar en su forma básica, have, ¿no? Must have, may have, should have. Bueno, también hay el should, pero no es de posibilidad. Could have, might have. O en el presente simple o futuro, I might be, I may be, I could be. También siempre base formal. Ya lo demás puede conjugar.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
All right. Okay, so it's just a matter of practice, but basically that's it. This is going to be really useful for your exam, especially. Another thing, and also for the listening part, you're going to hear these speculations about the past. And especially for that, sometimes, well, very often, to be honest, we contract these structures. That means that we don't really say he must have been sick. When we speak fast or when we speak normally, we tend to contract the words and like put them together. Now, in this case, there is a contraction for all of them. So for example, must have can be contracted with must have. He must have been sick, must have been sick. And the other ones are exactly the same. Basically, the contraction of have is an apostrophe plus V and E. I wonder why we didn't see he may have been, or may have been. He may have left, may have. Then we have might have forgot. Then we have could have been. Couldn't have been. This is interesting. I think this is the only case in the English language in which we can contract 3 words, because you can actually contract could not have. The 3 words, you can put them together. Could not have equals couldn't have. And it's correct to write it like this. Although it doesn't seem to correct, it is actually grammatically correct. Couldn't have. So it couldn't have been him. It couldn't have been him. With can, we can do anything like that. So it can have been him, but with the couldn't, we can contract. It couldn't have been him. It must not have been him. In this case, obviously, we can contract them, but sometimes you're going to hear a difference in pronunciation. What happens is, and this is like a trick for pronunciation, usually native speakers from America, I'm not going to generalize, but American native speakers, when they're speaking fast, they tend to eliminate the H sound. We know that in English, we pronounce the H as a J in Spanish, right? Have, him, her, he. But when we're speaking fast, we usually leave out the H. So for example, in this case, I wonder why we didn't see him. So even though it's see him, if you're speaking fast, sometimes you tend to eliminate the H. I wonder why we didn't see him. So we are eliminating that H. Give him this paper. So it's very commonly said as give him this paper, right? Give him this paper. Give her equals giver, right? Why don't you give her your number? Why don't you give her your number? So we don't really say give her your number. So same thing happens here. Even though we technically cannot contract might not have, when we're speaking fast, we tend to eliminate the H's. So he was there, so it must not have been him. It must not have been him. So we're eliminating that H. She might not have wanted to be there. She might not have wanted. Not have. Entonces, básicamente en español, el have casi siempre pasa a sonar como un of. No es un off en sí, no, un off, como si fuera entre o y a. He must have been sick. He may have left. We might have forgot. Maria could have been. It couldn't have been. I must not have been him. It must not have been him. She might not have wanted to be there. Entonces suena mucho como un of. Y de hecho, por esta razón, No sé si alguna vez has visto, pero incluso las personas, los nativos, llegan a confundir el have con el of. Y obviamente esto es correcto o no es correcto, pero es aceptable al momento de hablar, ¿no? I must have been late. Pero al momento de escribir siempre se prefiere primero escribir la forma completa, ¿no? Está bien contraerlo dentro de lo que es permitido, ¿no? Es permitido hacer esto, también es permitido hacer esto. Pero algo que ya sería incorrecto es cambiar el have por el of. Y esto es algo que yo he visto bastante, por ejemplo, no sé, en redes sociales, ¿no? En Facebook, Instagram, en los Reels o TikTok, los comentarios. Mucha gente, cuando utiliza este tipo de estructuras, de tanto que se han acostumbrado a cómo suena, escribe así, ¿no? Entonces dicen algo así, she could have been sick. Y obviamente esto es incorrecto, ¿no? Y lo escriben así porque así es como lo escuchan, así es como usualmente suena. She could have been sick, ¿no? Entonces la gente piensa que es un off, pero no es un off, es un have, ¿no? Es un error que no hay que cometer, pero sí se puede llegar a contraer al escribir en situaciones informales. Al escribir un ensayo, por ejemplo, para el TOEFL, preferiblemente siempre las formas completas. Así que la razón por la que te estoy diciendo esto más o menos es, obviamente por saber, pero más que todo para el speaking y para el listening, ¿no? Cuando escuchas tienes que entender que es have y cuando hables puedes mencionarlo como el of.
Okay, teacher.
Any questions now?
No, no, teacher.
All right, must have, may have. We're going to practice. So it says, what could have happened? ¿Qué pudo haber pasado? What could have happened? Using models of speculation to speculate about the past. So what do you think happened to this guy? What could have happened to him?
Maybe he could, I know, o say perdido. Pues,
Okay. Use models in the past.
he could,
Lost. El perdido lost, ¿no?
maybe he could have lose, I don't know, say perdido en
Lost.
lost, yeah, a term in university.
Okay. Haber perdido una materia, dices.
Yeah.
Okay. Perdido una materia sería fail, ¿no?
Yeah.
Fail. No aprobar. Fail. Pasar una materia, pass. Entonces, yes. Si usamos los modales, podríamos decir, he could have failed an exam, for example. He could have failed an exam. He could have failed an exam. Él podría haber reprobado un examen. He could have failed an exam. Ahora, hay dos opciones en realidad. Lo mismo con los modales en sí, modales de probabilidad. Podemos usar los modales, he could have failed an exam, o también podemos utilizar palabras, o como por ejemplo, lo que estabas utilizando. Maybe, probably, likely, perhaps, ¿no? Estas palabras expresan posibilidad, ¿no? Tal vez, quizás, probablemente. Entonces, si utilizamos estas palabras, ya no necesitamos usar el modal. Es decir, podríamos usar directamente el simple past, ¿no? Maybe failed a test. Quizá reprobó un examen. Perhaps he failed a test. He probably failed a test. He likely failed a test, ¿no? Entonces ya no necesitamos utilizar el modal. Ahora, ambos son exactamente lo mismo, son igual de válidos, pero, por ejemplo, para escribir, cuando llegas a cierto ensayo, es preferible utilizar esta forma porque muestra más variedad gramatical y una gramática más avanzada, ¿no? Entonces, un inglés básico, este es un inglés más avanzado. Entonces, maybe he failed a test, it's okay. But if you want to be a little bit more advanced, you can say he could have failed an exam or he could have failed a test. Oh, pero es lo mismo. Podemos utilizar estas palabras para expresar probabilidad o podemos utilizar modales de probabilidad.
Okay.
Okay, muy bien. So, he might have failed an exam. Podría haber reprobado un examen. Subject, modal, have, and past participle. He could have had a fight with his girlfriend. Podría haber peleado con su novia. He could have had a fight with his girlfriend. Could and may mean the same as might. Ahora está lo que tú estabas diciendo. Maybe he has failed an exam. Maybe means the same as could, might, may, have, but is less impressive in exams. ¿No? Presiona menos en un examen. Something bad must have happened to him. Must have is for when you are almost certain, ¿no? Lo que decíamos. Los anteriores son casi lo mismo, significan lo mismo. No estamos tan seguros, ¿no? Vamos a volver atrás. Teníamos might, could, may, significan lo mismo que might. Probabilidad. Y luego tenemos must, que es cuando estamos casi seguros. He must have failed an exam. Debe haber fallado un examen. Entonces estamos casi seguros. Must have is when you are almost certain. So, what do you think happened to her?
I think she could have, I don't know, couldn't have slept well last night.
Okay. She couldn't have slept well last night. ¿No? Couldn't have, pero habíamos dicho cuando estamos casi seguros. No, bueno, en este caso sí. Estamos seguros, ¿no? She couldn't have slept well last night. Okay, okay. What do you think happened here in this picture?
He might have had a party maybe last night.
Okay, they might have had a party last night. What else? What do you think happened in the party?
Maybe discontrol in their room. Maybe they drunk. Obviously, they crashed some stuff, some things in the room. Is so disorganized. They have a lot of trash, and yeah.
Okay, okay, good. So yes. As you said, they probably got drunk. Right? Se emborracharon. To get drunk, emborracharse. They probably got drunk, or maybe they have gotten, or we could say, they might have gotten drunk. Puede que se hayan emborrachado. They might have gotten drunk. They might have crashed things. It's a disorganized room, a chaotic room. Caótica, ¿no? Desorganizado, chaotic. So there must have been a lot of chaos in that party. Okay. What about this picture? What do you think happened here?
They could have closed a good deal, like a business deal. Maybe they are working in a different companies or different treasuries, so they have a good deal now.
Okay, okay, good. Try to use both modals of present and future and past. So yes, as you said, they might have closed a really good business deal, closed, and they may be working together now. They can be working together, right? Yeah, they look happy. What about this picture?
They might have had maybe a good news in the company. Maybe she will like a new, I don't know, say puesto.
A new position?
position, yes, in your company. And so all of them are celebrating this.
Okay, okay. She might have gotten promoted.
Yeah.
Might have gotten promoted. Yeah, and everybody's celebrating her. Okay, yeah, perhaps. What about this picture? What do you think could have happened to him?
She may have broken with her boyfriend, maybe. And so she is so sad and she's crying.
Okay. She might have broken up with her boyfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
Might have broken up with her boyfriend. Okay. What about this other picture? What could have happened there?
It could have destroyed by a hurricane or maybe other natural destroyer, I guess.
Okay. So yes, the infrastructure might have gotten destroyed by a hurricane or another natural disaster. Okay, yeah, probably. Yeah, because the weather also looks a little bit weird. So yeah. Okay. What about this picture? What do you think she saw? What do you think happened to her?
Maybe she might have surprised it about something, maybe a bad news, like seems like that. And yeah.
Okay. Good. Surprised means sorprendida, sorprendido, no es un adjetivo. Ahora, sorprenderse es to get surprised. ¿No? Usualmente los verbos que se llaman verbos reflexivos en español o en inglés reflective verbs son aquellos que se reflejan en uno mismo, ¿no? Por eso terminan en esas terminaciones como sorprenderse, enojarse, y usualmente están relacionados a las emociones. Enojarse, sorprenderse, asustarse, cansarse, me cansé, me asusté, me enojé, ¿no? Siempre con la reflexiva parte reflexiva. En inglés, esos se forman con get. El get, obviamente, tiene muchos significados, conseguir entre ellos, pero en cuestión de emociones o de estados, significa pasar de un estado a otro, ¿no? Entonces, por ejemplo, entristecerse, ponerse triste, to get sad, ¿no? Ponerse feliz, get happy. Lo que dijimos acá, sorprenderse, sería get surprised. Get surprised. Y lo mismo para todos, ¿no? Cansarse, to get tired. Tenemos el get y luego un adjetivo, to get tired. Enojarse, to get upset, or to get mad. To get angry también puede ser. Entonces, esos verbos reflectivos, pasar de un estado a otro, en cuanto a emociones, usualmente son con el get. To get sad, to get surprised, to get tired, to get upset. Y no solamente los verbos de emociones. Por ejemplo, casarse, lo mismo, ¿no? To get married. Entonces, algunos funcionan así. En este caso, she might have, ¿cómo sería?
She might have gotten surprised.
Exactly. She might have gotten surprised. Maybe she saw something and she's surprised. What about this? What do you think happened to him?
He could have done maybe I don't know, say what is it? Crime.
Exactly. Muy bien. To talk about crimes, we say to commit a crime instead of to do a crime. Commit a crime, cometer un crimen, en vez de hacer un crimen. To commit a crime, o también podríamos decir to do something illegal, ¿no? Hacer algo ilegal, to do something illegal. To commit a felony también, lo mismo que un crimen, algo ilegal. But yes, ¿cómo sería entonces?
could have committed a crime or something illegal.
So-
I
Okay, so yes, exactly. He could have committed a crime. He could have done something illegal. And what do you think is going to happen to him now? Try to use modas for the future.
maybe he oh no, he could have where's the principle go?
Okay, we're talking about the past, right?
Yeah. Oh no, the future.
The future, you don't need participles, right? Just
Yeah,
modal and the past.
yeah. So he could go to the I know I know the cárcel.
He could go to jail or to prison.
To jail. I think that he provoked a fire because the firefighters are in the essence.
Exactly. He could have started a fire.
Yeah.
Started a fire. The firefighters are on the scene, right? Scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, he could have started a fire. Why do you think he would start a fire?
I don't know. Maybe she, or maybe he wants to steal something, some big, maybe like a bank or something like this, for destroy to other people.
Okay, good. Maybe he wanted to steal something, or he wanted to rob a bank, and he wanted to distract people. Okay, yeah, probably. What about this picture? What do you think happened here?
They could have had a hurricane, maybe, or other natural. I don't know, natural. What is the
Sure.
word? Disaster. Yeah.
Right, so yeah,
They seem like so sad because they lose their house and their stuff.
they lost their house and their stuff, right? Stuff, la palabra cosas, stuff, no tiene plural, es decir, es stuff para cosas en general, siempre.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have lost their, maybe you could say they could have lost their belongings. Or they could have lost their property, maybe. Right? All right, so yes, that's correct. So what do you think so far? Do you have any questions about this lesson that we've seen today?
No, no, but it's a little bit complicated with the difference in the past and the present and the future, the structure. But I don't have questions.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to continue practicing tomorrow because what we've done is we have actually put together two lessons into one because there were two separate lessons, present and future and past modules. But we're going to practice tomorrow a little bit more. And yes, we're going to try to differentiate present from past, present and future from past. Yeah, we have time. Because it's the last unit, right? So it's here, possibility in the present. I'm going to assign you this O. And tomorrow we'll continue review. Okay. Do you have any questions before we go?
No, not yet.
Right, then please don't forget today's daily survey. It should be on your screen. And I will be seeing you tomorrow in that case.
Okay, teacher. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye-bye.